and I said it again, we're going to go through it again, is when we have a unit or an entire organization that pretty much leading on the same page. So when we talk about celebrating synergy, what's your understanding of what synergy is, first of all? Somebody, what's your understanding of what synergy? What is synergy in your own words? Anyway.
Things that work together.
Things that work together. You are probably right on point. So when we were talking about different campuses, the online group, the back office group, we all working towards a common goal, all working for Berkeley. And one of the things that we're going to be going into, you guys had the motivational speech today, we're going to be talking about how we can sustain that, how we can keep that moving. We talk about the loss of jobs, we're talking about not replacing people. This just does not happen in academia. This happens across all industries. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. But before going into that, I'm going to tell you a quick history of why I'm here. A little bit about my life story. I am from a family of 9. Gotcha. I don't know what happened to TV back then. There was no TV probably. I don't know what's happening. Okay. But as a youngster, because I was the oldest of 9, I'm the oldest of 9, I was named professor because we were homeschooled. Okay, so I did a lot of the homework and checking homework. So a lot of that started at a young age. I started living on my own at a very early age. I left home, lived on my own at a very early age. And I started off in California, San Bernardino, California, West Coast. That's why when you started talking about Tupac and all this other good stuff, I can relate to that from the West Coast opportunity. And as I start working and getting older, I saw the need for education. It was really important to me. I do a lot of different things, and it's important to get that education, and we understand that. So the most important people, as I was getting my degrees from 4 or 5 different schools, were you guys here in this room. I can remember more about the financial aid folks that helped me through the process than I can remember some of my professors. My students at 5 different colleges that I teach at, they talk about the financial aid folks more than the professors. Okay, so, and we're talking about from online, from Capella, from University of Phoenix, from Adelphi, from NYU, from the other schools that I teach at, they all talk about the financial aid folks. So I'm happy to be here, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Really, really important to me. You good? Very important. As a student, what happened to me was, since I was on my own, I had to basically get a lot of financial aid. To this day, still paying back some of the financial aid things going on in my world. Okay, from the bachelor's to the master's to the PhD, I'll be paying that just as long as I'm paying that mortgage. Okay, so I understand what happened. So when my students, my mentees, come to me and they talk about some of the challenges and how, in most cases, the experience with you guys was really, really positive, I'm happy about that. It's important. It's indicative about the hard work that you guys did. So again, living that whole thing. I was able to get a few grants and scholarships because of folks like you really working for me and my students. So really important. Talking a little bit about that. I heard you talk about the vouchers and the books and things that you guys help your students with. Again, I went through all of that as a youngster moving up, and the schools that I teach at now, I still hear it all the time. We had a large conference last year, NISFA, and the topic in itself was you guys, was how you're helping folks. The literacy programs, the kind words, the challenges you're dealing with from the parents as well as from the students. And we're going to talk about that as well, the importance of all of that mixed up. One of the things that I also do in conjunction with some of my partners, my business partners, is I also do some financial literacy programs as well. So I understand what you go through. I heard a story earlier where someone walked up, it was a woman who had a silver jacket on, a black and silver jacket on, talking about the things that you guys have to do above and beyond your job. Educate folks, okay? And really deal with, in most cases, not all, in most cases, some really challenging students, right? On a day-to-day basis. Okay, so I've definitely been through that and I understand that situation here. National issues, some of the things that affect us, okay? And affect different colleges, not just Berkeley, but across the board. And this is some of the things I did some research on over the years. So we're talking about things that happened to Hofstra, LIU, which is a school I have also went to, Malloy College, which I work in conjunction with, facing declining revenues. These are the things nationally happening. When you look at Dowling College, a small college out where I am, I'm from Long Island, right? Enrollment drops. So that's one of the challenges as well. New York Times talked a little bit about Morehouse College. I have some relatives that go there, so there's a lot of issues there. And so that's what a national. So we're not alone in some of the challenges we're facing. So we need to understand that. A lot's happening all over the place. Some of the things that are happening, and I've heard some stories here, I've heard some stories at other colleges, more with less. What does that mean, more with less? When you hear more with less from an employee standpoint, what does that mean? Anyone, tell me what that means. Someone over here said something? What's more with less? More work, less staff. Not just at Berkeley. Not just at Berkeley. Again, from the organizations that I work from, Citibank, Chase, Bethpage Federal Credit Union, a lot of different organizations, as well as universities, same thing. Angry letters and phone calls. We hear about that all the time. A communication break, where we don't get the information that we're supposed to get from another department or policy or procedure. We deal with that all the time. Everyone deals with that. Stressful work environment. One of the things that we're going to do today, and a few of us probably do this already, is learn how to meditate. Learn how to take a step away from our job, especially those workaholics, right? Who always got to be at their job. You got to take their desk, excuse me. You got to take a step back. Because how often have we heard about folks getting sick, cancer, and things of that nature? It's important for us to take that break. It's important. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in the next section. Quality customer service assets. We hear it from our bosses all the time. You know, from the Dianes of the world, the Ursulas of the world, customer service is important. Okay? Customer service is key. Increasing cost of education. Education is expensive. One of the schools that I teach at, on, is it Wednesday nights? Wednesday nights is NYU. Cost of education at NYU is $70,000 a year. If I had a child going to NYU, that would be a problem. 4 years, you got my whole mortgage. Okay? Very, very important. Recession is hitting us. Now we got a tremendous amount of Republicans in office. It's going to get even challenging from a policy standpoint for everyone. Okay? Losing homes, unemployment rate high. These are the things that are happening to us all over the place. So this we're going to deal with. However, one of the things that we need not to lose sight of when we talk about essentials, we talk about working with each other, when we talk about working with our students or our parents, is the basics. Good morning. Some of us, I'm going to take a quick survey. First of all, how many of us here, by a raise of the hand, are morning people? Raise your hand, morning people. Mind you, looking around, there's maybe a little half. Put your hand down. Those of us who are not morning people, we might not say good morning. We can say morning. Okay? We can say morning. Maybe not good morning, but morning. But most of us here were taught the basics, the essentials. There are many times that some of our employees walk around all day not saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Not good. I call it my only little bit of Spanish, no bueno. Okay? Back to the basics. Hello. It's funny because in New York alone, whenever you do some of these things that we're so used to as a child or raised up, they look at you double, right? Like something's wrong? Where you from? Okay? Hold on to the pockets. That sort of thing. How are you? And listen, this is key, especially for our leaders. If we're not sincere about a how are you, don't say it. If we're not sincere about the how are yous, don't say it. Stick with the mornings. Hello. Okay? Very, very important. I'm sorry, and keep it moving. Do not dwell on it. I'm sorry, made a mistake, and keep it moving. Very, very important. Basics. Please, oh my God. TMI, I'm going to tell a lot of TMI stories right now. Right? TMI story. My sons get a week's worth of punishment if they don't say please when I hear them do something or say something. 1 whole week worth of punishment. Can I tell you, To this day, people walk up to me, oh my God, you have those 9-year-old kids? I say to myself, it's because they know they're going to be punished. Very important, very important. Those essentials are really important when we work in our environment, in our work environment, with each other. Thank you. Thank you. Simple thank you. That's it. We're here to assist you. I hear this all the time, talking to Howard. This is the motto here. I'm here to assist you. I'm here to help you, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about this later. If you say that, I'm here to assist you, do not say that with an attitude. You take away the whole thing, right? I'm here to assist you. Okay? So please understand is the tone also how we talk about this. Okay? I understand. Anytime. Very important. Now, this is one of my favorite slides. Jeff, don't say anything. One of my favorites. Okay. One of my favorite slides. Another thing that's important, let's take a pause. Another thing that's extremely important is listening. Before I go into listening and this factor, I'm going to ask the question. How many of us have been in relationships over a year? Over a year. Raise your hand. Over a year. Okay, so we should get this down pat, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to find out. Relationships, be it any type of relationship, we need to learn how to listen to our students, to our employees, to the faculty, to anyone. We need to learn how to listen. Okay? Exercise. First of all, what day of the week is today? Thursday. Say it loud. Thursday. Thursday. Got it. Got it. You guys are going to answer this next question in unison. Yes or no? Is it still raining outside? Yes. Good. What color is this? White. Got it. Last question. What do cows drink? Stop. I'm going to go over this side of the room. What did that teach us then? What did that exercise just teach us? Not even think before you speak. What did we do? What did most of us do? Anticipate what has been said. That is the biggest downfall in any type of relationships, guys and girls. We do that in our relationships. We think we know what the person is going to say because we've been with them. We've been doing the job or whatever. That's the biggest part of relationships. So if that happened to you, that's another workshop Howard and I are going to talk about. Okay? But that's important. That's a test to where we are. We jump ahead. And that stops communication. Do we understand that? All right, very important. I said this is one of my favorites. Really, really important. Now, so, we dealt with challenges. We found out that, things that we are dealing with, recession, more with less, challenges, it is not just at Berkeley. However, you guys have been extremely successful at Berkeley. Talk about some of the highlights. Because we have created such a good synergy, we need to continue with it. Hopefully, most of you guys know some of this information. I was extremely impressed with some of this information. The ROI, Berkeley College outperformed 96% of U.S. colleges and universities in a study by pay scale. Number 6, in international student enrollment among 40 specialized institutions. Highlights, again. Best online program for veterans, 2014. Fantastic. Those things are really, really important. In order to maintain this is again really important. And this again goes to those of us in these departments who are leaders. A few of you were pointed out for leadership. You probably represent some of this. Motivating employees and organizations tend to move forward comes to aligning people, financial resources, time resources, and inspiring strategy. Many leaders are being asked to do more with less. We talked about that often. The energy, excitement, and motivation comes through the right resources, performance measures, and incentives are assigned. Today, I said this when I first started, today is a day that you guys echo the scope here. But we need to maintain it because the list that we had, that we talked about, is going to increase. So we need to understand this key is important. Those of you in leadership positions, those of you who are managing people, please understand this. It's going to get harder throughout every industry. Again, every industry. I'm going to give you another TMI. Worked for Citibank for about 5 years. My entire unit just moved down to Tampa. So they said to me, they said, you can move with your entire unit to Tampa, or you can take a severance package and look for a job. Severance package, looking for a job. Okay? So it's happening everywhere. So please understand this. How we deal with that from a leadership perspective, that's important.